Yeah, type of breakfast. Then.
That's a ritual.
You're open to sort of,
Yeah.
the pork chops and pumpkin, pork chops and pancakes or dumplings or.
Okay, we are live.
I'm very glad. Thank you.
We good? That's fine.
All right, we have 8:15. We'll call the March 11th. Land water meeting order. Roll call. Excuse me. All members are present. We'll look for an approval and repair of today's agenda. Look at it.
I'll second.
Motion by Tim, second by Nick. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval and repair of last month's minutes. Everybody had a chance to read those over. I'll need a motion. Motion by Kim. Second by Derek. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to public comment. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Morning, my name is Julie Brown. I live on River Lane. I sent a letter to all of you and maybe you've all seen it, so I don't want to just reread what I sent to you last week. I did want to come in person for the conversation and just, I guess, recap for the record that my concern is that amendments to chapter 16 involving the definition of private club might still be ambiguous. My impression from reading minutes from previous meetings is that your intention was to make it clearer. My concern is that a business could call itself a club and proceed with development that would be otherwise prohibited under the shoreland area zoning rules, regulations, and definitely intention. So I sent a letter. I did pull some language from a few other counties that define private clubs in their zoning. And I don't know if you liked any of that language or not, but I wanted to send you something other than just a complaint with the request that maybe that language could be articulated a little bit more to prevent development in those areas that I don't think any of us want. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. See, there's nobody else here in the public. On to department reports.
Okay, not too much has happened in the last month. No animal waste storages. Department of Preservation, Travis is sending out all the 2025 walkover information and starting to get that all done, especially with the nice weather. We've had just 2 manure spreading complaints. He went out to both of them. They were both legal. All setbacks were made and they were on greater than 20 feet to bedrock, so they were allowed. The nutrient management farmer education class were held over a 3-day in mid-February. We had the highest attendance that we've ever had, especially with a lot of the people coming from NWTC. And we're waiting on, there's several farmers who don't like to come to the big class because they don't know the computer very well, so they come and do one-on-one. So then once our final numbers will be done, I can get you the final or how many people participated, but it's like, I think it's over 46. And then how many acres it is. 4 new conservation plans for approval. We have Keene, Stotts, Lardo, and Swintowski. So these are all new conservation plans. We get a lot of new ones right around tax time. So they go to get their taxes done. They're like, hey, you should be part of the farmland preservation program. So then they come in here and start the process of the conservation plan. Then we make sure they have the nutrient management plan, and then sorry, then they get a walkover. Sanitary report has been busy. 3 soil inspections. The weather's really good. 3 permit applications and 3 house numbers. And nothing for well testing update. Last week, Paul, Travis, Sam, and I went to the Wisconsin Land and Water Conference. It was a 3-day conference in Green Bay. So a lot of great breakout sessions, a lot of great networking. So 3 of us were there last week, and it was a really good time. So Questions for me?
You had said someone was spreading them already, or can spread them already.
Farms can spread, small farms, not.
Well, of course, we're small,
Yes.
yeah.
Greater than 20 feet. And they have to meet the all their setbacks for winter spreading.
Okay,
There is no spreading on less than 20 feet until 8.
thank you.
And I think CAFOs are prohibited in February and March. For this,
Incorporated that.
unless, yeah, so there's different regulations, but prohibited is less than 20.
Thank you.
You know, complaint on spill in front of Hagel the other day, nobody called me a little bit.
No,
They were out scrubbing the road, so hangar must have stayed open as soon as they pulled out. So
yeah, no, they got it all, everything was cleaned up.
They were there with
Yeah.
water, they were there, I saw what they were doing.
Yep.
If you have any complaints.
No complaints came through us.
Any other questions for me? Operating agencies, I don't have anybody here to be from extension and our CS. Finished him last month. So with that, we'll move on. Tim will touch base on Casco number 9 and other matters. Okay. Move on to the shoreline zoning ordinance discussion, possible action item. It's brought to my attention that the private clubs should probably take a harder look at it, whether we put the definition in to explain what a private clubs is very vague. And Davina went back and looked over the last, 3 years.
Yeah, we went back through all the files that we had and that all the ones that we got from Glenn's office, Sam and I went through and there was not a single private club. I think where Dave Peppo wanted this to come back. There was a hearing for a shoreline zoning variance, I won't mention names. And there was not a decision made because they wanted more clarification on what a club is. And there was a lot of Jeremy. A lot of confusion, I would say, so that's where the club, and there was quite a bit of public there too. So the hearing variance will be continued in a couple weeks. So then Dave kind of was looking into this, asked us to look through all the files. No mention of club in any of the files. I'm actually having Sam make a spreadsheet of all of the old cases so that we have that, like, no club was ever mentioned in any of them, so there's just been a lot of confusion, and Dave, I believe, called you, was
Yes.
talking to
He
you.
was talking to me. At the same time, Ms. Braun sent a letter in. And if you guys had a chance to read her email. Well, the definitions of other counties, how they define it. Private club, the way we have it now, there is no definition, so anybody can use it the way they want, so. We were thinking to either remove it completely or put some definitions in the private club area, so there's not confusion when it goes to board adjustments on what is allowed, not allowed. I thought we'd bring this back to the committee and have that discussion of what we want to go, see that it hasn't been used. The term has not been used in over 30+ years, for sure. Somebody came for a variance. To build something. So I just want to open it up to the committee here to see what their thoughts are. To try to help the board of adjustments in the future, if this comes up, whether we leave it in there, define it, that's going to.
I was just gonna add to your comments, Mr. Chairman, that, we've been working on, essentially restructuring and updating the ordinance from based on what we had. But as the committee considers this question, as our local legislative body, you do have the genuine choice of whether you think it's valuable to include a definition for a private club or to leave it all completely. That's totally up to the committee. Part of how we ended up where we are is because we're working from what was on the books. But you genuinely have the chance to decide if you want to have an exemption potentially for private clubs or not.
If people are using it as a skate around what they want to put there, then why do we even have it in there? Why give them an opportunity to use those words as something, then take it out and they can't use it. You don't have to dive into it anymore, get rid of it.
To just go piggyback on that a little bit, if there was a future private club that we thought was. Or a club, a church club, or whatever that might be, they have the opportunity to ask for variance, right?
Yeah, that would be more of the educational nature is what a lot of them, like there was like a Girl Scout campground that was the only one we found with the past history. And yeah, we had that for the educational section.
But if someone were to fall outside of that, outside of the educational aspect. there
Yeah, you
still
know,
would be the
You can always
opportunity
do a variance.
to get a variance, right? So that still exists.
The option is still there to get your
Look at some of the
petitioning.
what did some of the other counties have as definition? What, I mean, does it fall with some of the other?
This is the one. And I don't know what they all signed. Couldn't be here today. He was supposed to be, he got pulled into an emergency case or hearing this morning.
So if you look at Portage County, it allows the exception for private clubs, except those, the chief activity, of which is a service customer, they carry on as a business. There's Waukesha, Portage, I'm sorry, it's Oneida County, it's definitions that kind of all the same things. If I think. And then. Next up to something else. Or variance in the future, it's looked at these phases, but it's a term.
Opportunity still exists.
This is like it's a big, maybe one, right?
It's never been used, the term private club or club. Sam and I did not find in any of the files, those two words is what we were looking for, and they were never used.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, would say to take it out because I think it's just causing another problem. Trying to put a definition. I think we have enough in there that it'll, on the other stuff that if somebody wants to do something, they're able to.
I think the board is a consensus that we should remove it, so with that will be a motion.
I'll second.
A motion by Tim to read private clubs, chapter 16, showings on ordinance, yes, and any other purpose.
Is there anything in the specific language by just striking private clubs that makes the sentence unclear or, you know, I didn't.
I would just put an and between dinner clubs and taverns.
I didn't know. If there was any part.
No, because it says, and other private clubs is how the sentence actually goes. Yep, so we would just say and.
We have a motion on the floor in a second, so all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I mean, do we need another motion to now move this county board? When it's been changed.
It would probably be best because we're here and it's on the agenda.
Okay, we'll look for a motion to move the shoreline zoning ordinance chapter 16. Fulton County Court for first reading. That would that be the
It would be April.
I'll second.
Motion by Ted, second by Ned. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So this have to go back, should ask, will this have to go back to the DNR for approval by removing this one or two words?
I'm going to send it anyways. We did have the blessings, so these are under special exceptions, so they said that it should be good. But I will send that, today I'll make the final changes. I will resend that to you.
So with that, we'll move on to other matters to discuss. Tim, is there any updates on the gas bill?
I have not, I didn't think we were for a meeting last night, nobody called me or texted me with major concerns, so I have not heard of.
We haven't gotten anything on those hearing.
Probably not a whole lot of conservation updates to discuss other than, I know Dick and I were at the Midwest Manure Summit 2 weeks ago at Landing Field. Some great technologies coming down the pipe for in-season manure application to try to get these nutrients out on growing crops. Grain 360 is called a machine that can go in the corn that's 13 feet tall and apply throughout the season. There are quite a few out in the Tri-County area, and I think there are more to come.
There's one farm that is looking into the technology for this.
Yeah,
In July.
and that is considered an application tool, not an irrigation tool. So DNR working really well with this company. I think that the good tool to have in the toolbox to be getting these nutrients out on the crops during the season and try to limit our applications in spring. And fall. And a lot of the other updates there were with American Biogas Council. She are, if you go to the ones on maybe the.
Nutrient management, UW had some questions there, so there was an agronomic component and just looking at, again, it's more probably a technology session, so it's an out of the box thoughts, could ammonia be removed from manure back to some type of commercial fertilizer? When you're talking about test tube compared to, the True Valley, you said it's a big comparison, but that there are things being looked at, so.
Yeah, the university's spending a lot of time, a lot of dollars. For management. So working on that. Any other conservation updates anybody has to add? Steve Dunn. On scheduling future meetings.
So we have April 8th, and then the second Tuesday in May would be May 13th.
But that will leave those on the schedule then. If there's nothing else, we will look for an adjournment. By Tim, second by Kip. All in favor of motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion carries. Adjourned at 8:30.